Yeah, so, okay, so how do you guys want to do this? We're going to give them, this is the time for the 1-minute speech. So if everyone could just like give your full attention to them. Wow, this is the first time we actually had 4 people run. Does anyone like have the urge to want to go first?
Marian.
I'll do it.
No? Okay.
Okay. Hello guys, my name is Ebalobo, and I would greatly appreciate. I am greatly interested in being your guys' new student representative. Filipino tradition has been a part of my life for essentially all of it, and I would love to continue it my 4 years starting with NSR. I'm going to take a note from Kuya Justwanich's page and separate the speech into 3 parts: community, inclusivity, and family. I want to create a sense of community in which I get to work with the activities chair and make sure that the audience make kuyas and ates that they really have a good connection with the first few years. I want to create a sense of community in the sense that new students have a platform in which that they feel open to sharing their opinions and feel like they have a voice in this organization. And I want to create a sense of family in which we all act as a kapamilya to share in the culture as a family. Thank you for considering me. Maraming salamat.
Hey everybody, my name is Gabriel Deraco, and some little background information about me is I was born in the Philippines and moved here in 2004. So ever since then, I actually, living here. So my first day is attending SU, hearing about UFC kind of like, I was very excited knowing that there's a home for me here. So I am considering learning at NSR. So some goals I kind of wanted to set for myself being part of this group is I want to actively engage in any event and participate. I want to establish new relationships with new people, and as well as overall having fun with my newfound family. Thank you for listening to me, and can't wait to meet all of you guys.
Okay, so my name is Marian Amaranto. How are all you guys doing tonight? Good, okay. So for most of you who don't know, I'm a bio major. I'm obviously a first year, and hopefully your next NSR. I like to consider myself a risk taker, so when I found out that UFC was looking for an NSR, I thought it was a really good opportunity for me to get to know my fellow freshmen, the fellow Filipinos in this community, and just anyone who's interested in learning about Filipino culture. And moving to the US from the Philippines, I didn't have a lot of opportunities to connect with my culture outside of my family interactions. So I want to make sure that for me and for everyone in this room, I can help make UFC feel more like a home and a family for everybody. And I know that making connections is a big part of why people stay in clubs. So as the NSR, I hopefully want to plan events for the new students to bond, maybe exploring Seattle or just getting out to grab lunch together, so we can all form that bond together and really develop a sense of family before we try to put ourselves out there if you're one of those people who aren't comfortable with putting themselves out there. So yeah, I want to be able to work with all of you guys and not just like on top of you. Like, I want to be able to work with you and hear all your opinions and ideas. So with me as your NSR, hopefully we can make this year one to remember and a great start to our journey as kapamilya.
Hi, I'm Mercy, Candelaeria-Weis, and I'm from the Bay Area. Okay. Honestly, my first week of school here was really hard. It was hard to make friends. And as soon as I went to the first UFC meeting, I felt like I was at a big ass, no, sorry guys. At a really big family party. I was at a big family party, and it was just like, I was actually really proud to make this my new home away from home. I'm really excited to meet all of you. And then just at home, back home, I used to go to a private school and it was predominantly white. And I didn't have a huge Filipino community like this, so I'm actually happy that SU has something like this so I can share and experience new things with all of you. And then, what's it called? Having a community like this that shares the importance of having Filipino roots. Sure. It's very important to remember that, especially as a minority population. And I'd love to be your NSR just so I could be your voice and get to know all of you and just take in all of your opinions and actually, like everyone else here said, like form connections because they're so important. And yeah, I'm just very excited to be here. I'm so lucky to be here tonight. And thank you.
Okay, so this is the part where we're gonna ask questions. So the first one is gonna ask a question is gonna be Marian, your previous NSR. So, Marian.
Okay. How can you be more inclusive of LGBTQ+, biracial, or non-Filipino folks in UFC? Please provide an example.
For me specifically, being from the Bay Area, LGBTQ+ was a very huge sort of community at my school. So a specific example of this would just be like, say your tinikling practices, your tinikling event in Bellarmine, we can open that up so that we could be sure to include like people that sort of like don't think that they could be comfortable like putting themselves out there, and yeah, just make this sort of a safe place for everyone.
Sorry. Okay. In order to like be super inclusive, I think we should just like promote how our deals are very welcoming, like Mabuhay. It's like very welcoming, and that we want everybody to participate, want everyone to enjoy their time here, especially we have a short time here in college, and just make sure that everybody knows that we're here to talk it, not talk it up, but just like we're here to listen, we're here to, yeah, sorry.
Okay, so living in Seattle obviously exposes us to a lot of diversity, whether it's through LGBTQ+, or through just racial or ethnic diversity. So I was thinking that maybe if we could plan some events that, like the tinikling was mentioned earlier, that if you wanted to maybe play or like to dance the female roles or the male roles, like you could switch that up and be really open to those ideas and have more events planned towards, specifically to non-Filipinos. We could reach out to them and have more meetings based on educating people on the culture of the Philippines and the different aspects of Filipino culture so that they know they have a background on that and they don't feel left out when we're talking about certain aspects.
Well, yeah, for me, I would first invite them over to like a UFC event or a volunteer event. I'd then explain to them that UFC, even though it's like about Filipinos mainly, it's not like just all about Filipinos. You can join even though you're not part of the or affiliated with the Filipino culture. But I'd invite them to learn about it, and then like what they said, pretty much going off what they said, switching gender roles or But I'd make them feel home, like they have like a second place to go to when they're not from looking for their other places. But yeah, thank you.
Okay. What does community mean to you, and how do you plan to foster that?
Can you repeat it one more time?
What does community mean to you, and how do you plan to foster that?
For me, community is basically like a group of people, having fun, bringing all that positive energy, and just like getting through college together. I know college can be very stressful, but I find that U of C can help that with that by like, you know, struggling together, getting through all the educational struggles, and then succeeding together as well. But yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you.
Personally, I associate community with family, just like having similar ideals, just caring for each other as one piece of the puzzle to our bigger society, and just sharing, just sharing what we have all together, that we're all caring for each other, and that we all want the same things, and that we want to, improve our society further and further, and communities are there to help each other with that, to improve the society as a whole. Yeah.
So for me personally, community means a safe space where you can grow as a person and as a student and just as a member of like the Seattle Youth community. And like I mentioned earlier, I know that finding a community is really hard, especially for new students, because we may not feel comfortable in places where we don't know a lot of people. So I want to be able to openly invite the new students on bonding excursions, whether that's going around Seattle or maybe like a lock-in or a sleepover or something like that, and to really get to know each other so we can first make that sense of community among the freshmen. And I hope I can encourage them to also join the UFC events so that we can also get to know the upperclassmen.
I'm going to go a different route with community. As you can look around, we are a lot more similar than we think we are, but we're also, so using the saying, like, we're all different in our own different ways, I see that as, since this is a cultural club, we're all going to have our similarities, but using our differences, we can push each other to that new limit that we can grow further as not only as a culture, but as that community, and sort of like grow as like a family.
So now this is going to be questions coming from alumni and the general audience. I don't know if you like the alumni has any questions, but I know a few alumni already messaged me for a few questions. So actually, Jason, do you want to go first?
Okay.
Or I can ask.
Wait, who you got?
I got you.
Oh, go for Ian.
Okay, so question. Sorry, question from alumni. We got Ian, if y'all know him. NSR is an important position as they can directly impact someone's desire to continue their involvement and personal growth through a club. As with any club or formal organization, retention of its members is important to success and growth. As NSR candidates, what are your thoughts on this, and how do you plan on addressing it?
So I feel like I've mentioned this twice already, but I really want to emphasize the importance of relationships between new students, because we're all new to Seattle U and we're all still learning how our places in this community. So again, I just want to be able to host events that maybe the new students can take lead or have a big role on, and also to take the new students on bonding activities again, to really get to know each other over fun things to do so it's more memorable instead of just always seeing each other in school.
For me, I'd say establishing a really quick relationship with with new students directly. I probably ask for their Snapchat, message them, always ask them to come out to UFC events. If they can't make it, I'd be always come through to the next one. Besides UFC events, I'd like to personally increase my be personally involved in their lives. Increasing friendships and stuff by going out to different places in Seattle. I'm from here, so I'll probably take them out to Seattle, and then just putting them in a different comfort zone so they're able to actually express themselves as a whole person when they're actually attending a UFC event.
I would like to put together more activities so we're all getting to know each other and work together on an activity and bonding together, maybe getting to know each other's ades and kulias, making each other comfortable with each other since we will be together for a long time. and what's it called? These connections are going to be very special to us, and it'll be very important if we have, like what they said, we'd go on excursions together and make new memories together, as we have very few years in college, and just making more connections is very important, having these people that we might know for the rest of our lives. So being an NSR would be important because you're helping people get to know each other and making more connections so that we're more tight-knit community together.
And I think with the stigma of like new students, it's that sort of like upperclassmen and the lowerclassmen. I mean, like the first years are kind of like separated. So then I think it's important for member retention to kind of take away that middle ground and make connections between everyone in the club rather than just with each other as first years. Because as good as that may be, we're not going to go as far with just one group and another group and another group than working as a whole unit together.
All right, so this question's from Kuya Chris, if y'all know him. So I'm asking you, name a time where you yourself felt undervalued or you noticed someone else was feeling undervalued. How do you approach that situation?
Well, coming from a predominantly white community in high school, I oftentimes found myself facing microaggressions and people not empathizing with my experiences as a Filipino American woman, and they would push aside my feelings, and I would feel like kind of walked over like a rug, you know? And I just want to like put more, what's it called? In high school, I tried to put together an API or a Filipino club together, but then a lot of the Asian cultures at my school didn't feel that close to their own culture or the Asian identity, so it didn't get put together at all. And then I just want to like, feeling undervalued just put a lot of, pressure on me as as the only Asian student in a lot of my classes. So I'd like to change that and focus on the big community here, because we all want the same things. We want to better our society.
For me personally, being an immigrant from the Philippines, there definitely has been a lot of times where I felt ashamed of being Filipino, or just I felt like my culture was being brushed under the rug because of all the other dominant cultures here in the US. And so what I did was I joined a bunch of organizations that helped me regain that confidence in my culture and regain that love for my culture, such as joining the Reina Elena event in my church and helping set up a multicultural holiday night for local schools in my hometown, where we taught little kids how to appreciate other ways to celebrate the holidays other than just Christmas. And so by participating in all those activities, I was able to grow and realize that being Filipino is a good thing and it shouldn't be something that you shouldn't be ashamed of. So.
For me, I haven't really had that problem since I was surrounded with a lot of Filipinos. I mean, yeah, I felt undervalued of that. I was Filipino, like I look different, I eat things differently, I talk differently, had a little bit of Filipino accent. I was made fun of that because I didn't really pronounce things the right way. But anyways, a time where, well, I'm just gonna shift it directly where, like, whenever I'm at family parties, like a lot of like little kids look up to me as their mentor. So like they always ask me, hey Gabe. A lot of people have been like bashing on me for looking like this, eating this. I always tell them like, ignore the haters, you know, just be yourself, because you know they have to honestly just deal with it. Like you're who you are because of your ancestors. Like, yeah, just be proud of yourself. And I always tell them, don't even bother. But that's just me.
For me, being undervalued is sort of like sorry, I'm just trying to think. So, in a sense, when I was growing up, I always had a sense that I wasn't Filipino enough. And when I got to high school, we had a Filipino club that was led by an upperclassman that really stressed the fact that you had to have like a good Filipino background to participate in such events. So, coming from the question, how do you approach something like a situation where you are being undervalued? For me personally, me coming from a non-traditional like Filipino background where I didn't speak Tagalog or I didn't really have a good dance background, I feel like it's important to go at the problem head on and stress the inclusivity that you don't really have to be a certain extent of Filipino to truly practice the culture.
So NSR, yeah, the big part of the job is like making events for first year students and transfer students, but that's just part of the job. I feel like what to me is the most important is making connections, genuine and authentic connections with these first years and these transfer students. So how will you, in your own unique way, do that?
Yeah, so I'm planning, like, once I get to know everybody, I'd definitely love it if you guys like came up to say hi, or I'll probably come up to say hi to you guys if I see you like walking around. I'm always open to sharing my social media too, so we can get to know each other on a more personal level and we can see each other's like social lives, I guess, or like our lives outside of school and studying. So yeah, definitely making those personal connections through social media and personal day-to-day interactions is one of my goals as an NSR, to basically get to know all the new students.
For me, being like outgoing, like a social butterfly, I'd probably just, go up to you and say, hey, I'm Gabe, what's up? And then I'd probably ask you for, Snapchat, Instagram, text, and then I know like Facebook in college is like a really big tool for communication. So I'd probably make a group chat of all like incoming freshmen and transfer students and just talk about or just set up events, like boba meetups, or get some places to eat if you guys are not busy, and just, have a great time and then form a better connection and just, experience college together.
I know how social media is a big part of our communities or society, yeah. And I was thinking you can, as UFC, we all love Filipino food, so I was thinking maybe in my own unique way, I would have a halo-halo mixer, and we'd all make halo-halo, get to know each other, and just mix with each other. Just with transfer students and you freshman students just working together, just halo-halo, cool, just getting to know each other, making new memories. First time at halo-halo at college was Mercy was my NSR.
So yeah, I think a unique way I could make connections with new students as well as higher up students. Sorry, my bad. I really like dance, and I really want to share my love of that with you guys. And I think, in my special way, I think that I always have the saying: if you have a brain and you have feet, that you can dance. So yeah, I'd hold, I guess, sort of times where we could just hang out as family and learn together.
Yeah, maybe one more. This is the last question.
Okay. So, what would you say are your greatest weaknesses, and how do you plan on improving that with the NSR position?
One shortcoming that I know I definitely have is managing my time. Because I am a bio major and I'm a freshman, I'm still trying to learn how to manage such a busy schedule with my responsibilities if I become the NSR. So I will try my, well, I won't try my best, but I will work on prioritizing my time better so that I have enough time for all the different activities and the different academic activities that I'm involved in, so that I can put all my effort into academics and put all my effort into UFC without sacrificing my quality or the quality of my work or my passion for both.
I know that sometimes people call me a perfectionist and I can be very nitpicky, but to work on that, I really want to prioritize what's really important instead of all the little things, because the big thing is our community, the people that are here together, what we're doing all together to make this real. The UFC is really important, what we can do to make it just good in the end, instead of just making it trying to make it super perfect and everything, and working on little things and getting impatient. And I will be patient with all of you, and I will work hard to get to know each and every one of you. Make sure that you're feeling good here in our little community.
I think my greatest weakness is public speaking and speaking in front of a large group of people. So I think being thrust into a leadership role, I feel a lot of us have that inner fear, and we can grow as leaders together.
Yeah, for me, same thing. Public speaking, you guys can probably tell. It's a little bit nervous, but it's all good. Another thing would be time management. Although I am a commuter student, commuting from 25 minutes away south, I'm not I'll generally stay pretty late, but it's I'll make a schedule and just make everything more organized for myself so I can balance work, study, family time, and UFC.
Thank you.
Actually, I think it's that. Okay, I'm gonna ask this one question. Just make it super short, or it has to be super simplified. This is from Korea, Jeremy. How would your best friend describe you? Just to land the load off everything.
For me, best friend, he actually went to the Coast Guard recently. But if he was here talking to you guys, he would say I'm pretty energetic, I'm a social butterfly, I'm very accepting. And he'd just say I'm very caring and would love to meet all you guys. So yeah, pretty much.
My best friend would say I'm very passionate. I would be very, in school I would reach out to people, make sure that that they feel included in everything. I would make sure that if someone's voice wasn't being heard, that I would stand up for them, and that I would make sure that they would be heard and that their opinion is not looked sorry. And very passionate about subjects that including my identity as a mixed Filipino American. Just because my identity was just very undervalued, as mentioned before, because maybe I wasn't enough Filipino or enough acceptable for society. Just talking about that in school a lot, and we'd have a lot of discussions about that.
I think my best friend would call me determined and hardworking. I might be a little airheaded sometimes. When I'm really focused on something, I might tune everything out. But if you say my name enough times, I'll pay attention to you. But yeah, once I set my mind into doing something or completing something, I'll usually, or most times, stick to it until it's completed. And I'm also a perfectionist in a sense, in that I don't want to plan something or submit an assignment if I didn't put my 100% into it. So I hope I can apply those qualities to UFC.
I'm gonna keep this short. Open to growth. We're all gonna mess up, and the only way up from there is learning together.
All right. Last round of applause. Okay, you guys can ask, take your seat, but then you guys could also just be in afterwards.